No one expects agile improvement to happen by accident. Most teams know it takes effort. You might try new tools, invest in training, adopt Scrum or some other framework. Maybe you bring in a few agile coaches. Those are great steps, but they don't guarantee results. After more than 20 years working with agile teams in every kind of environment, from regulated industries to fast-moving startups, I've learned that agile success depends on 5 essential pillars: mindset, practices, roles, teamwork, and support beyond the team. If even one of those pillars is missing, you'll feel it. Progress will slow, teams will get frustrated, stakeholders will start to doubt the value of Agile. But when all 5 pillars are in place, Agile thrives. Let's take a look at each. Agile isn't just a checklist of practices. It's also a mindset, which is our first pillar. It's about embracing change, collaborating openly, and seeing failure as a chance to learn. But this mindset doesn't happen automatically, and I've heard the frustration.
Leadership says we're agile, but still demand waterfall-style deadlines. Teams do agile practices, but they don't believe in them.
Mindset is the why behind every decision. Without it, team members don't know why new practices are being put in place. Even if you focus on improving practices through workshops and training, without an Agile mindset, teams will eventually disengage. Agile becomes something they're told to do, not something they own. If you're leading change, you can avoid this by helping your teams understand the purpose behind the process. You can also run a simple retrospective style session where teams list behaviors that feel agile and those that don't. Doing this creates an opportunity for meaningful discussion. From there, you can start to carve out a path towards an agile mindset for your team. The second pillar is the collection of practices agile teams use. If mindset gives you the why, practices give you the how. Backlog refinement, sprint planning, daily scrums, retrospectives. These aren't just rituals, they're the scaffolding of effective delivery. But teams struggle here as well with issues around story splitting or planning effectively. We commonly hear things like,
"We can't break stories down small enough."
Planning takes hours, and still no one knows what they're working on.
When agile practices are missing or misapplied, you get chaos. Work piles up, quality drops, delivery becomes unpredictable. Fortunately, you don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start by spotting the weak links. If your retrospectives feel repetitive and only scratch the surface of issues, spend the next retro drilling deep into only one topic. Spend time uncovering root causes rather than immediately jumping to solutions. If sprint planning isn't creating enthusiasm for the work of the coming sprint, consider shortening the meeting. The sprint planning meeting should be fast-paced, but shouldn't feel rushed or cut off. I like to target about 90 minutes for a 2-week sprint. The goal in sprint planning is not to identify every task team members will need to do. The goal is to select a viable sprint goal and the product backlog items to support that. Talk about tasks and possibly estimate those just enough to decide which product backlog items can be brought into the sprint. Yeah, doing it this way will mean overlooking a few tasks, but spending extra time thinking harder just to identify a few small tasks does not add enough value to be worth it. The third pillar of a successful Agile improvement effort is roles. Scrum introduces new roles and redefines old ones. But if you don't clarify who's responsible for what, you'll experience problems. I've seen this so many times. Product owners aren't empowered and Scrum Masters aren't respected.
We have a product owner, but everything still goes through the VP. No one knows what the Scrum Master does, so they just book meetings.
When roles are fuzzy, team members end up frustrated because they're unsure what they're allowed to do. Here's something you can try if team members struggle with role confusion. Run a who does what alignment exercise. Write down key responsibilities like prioritizing the backlog, facilitating meetings, or making sprint trade-offs, and ask the team to match each one to the right role. This kind of conversation clears up mismatched expectations quickly, and it prevents a lot of finger pointing down the line. While practices are important, they don't guarantee great teamwork. I've seen teams that have very skilled individuals, but almost zero collaboration. The truth is, you just won't see great results without strong teamwork, which is the fourth pillar. Great teams share ownership. They finish work together rather than passing it down an assembly line. But when we've surveyed Agile practitioners, the feedback shows a lot of disconnect between team members.
We still hand things off like before.
Our team is remote and barely talks outside of stand-ups.
That's not a team, that's a collection of individuals. Here's an experiment you can try if you think your team needs to work on its collaboration muscle. Pick one story in the next sprint and swarm on it. Have 3 or more team members work on it together at the same time. See what happens. Most teams know what too little collaboration looks like. With swarming, we want to over-collaborate, have more people work together than seems necessary, so they're forced to find ways to split work up. This small experiment builds shared ownership, improves communication, and often gets work done faster than solo assignments. The fifth pillar of a successful Agile improvement effort is one people often overlook: support beyond the team. Even the best Agile teams will struggle if the surrounding organization still clings to old habits. You've probably heard things like we did in our survey.
Stakeholders expect exact dates, but don't come to reviews.
Leadership drops new priorities mid-sprint with no discussion.
When that happens, teams feel whiplashed, morale drops, agility becomes a scapegoat. So how do you fix it? Start with expectations. If leaders want predictability, they need to participate. Invite them to reviews. Show them how planning really works. Educate them that just because they want something doesn't mean it's possible. When stakeholders want more than can be delivered in a desired amount of time, that needs to become a shared problem. The team and stakeholders collaborate to find the best solution within the constraints. When people outside the team start supporting the Agile process, teams can finally breathe and deliver. No transformation starts perfectly, but if you want change that lasts, these 5 pillars, mindset, practices, roles, teamwork, and support outside the team, are where to begin. Look at where your teams are today. Identify the weakest pillar and do something to improve in that area. Then repeat. Look again for the weakest pillar. It may be the same pillar, and find something else to improve. That's how agility takes hold and sticks. And if you want help building a truly Agile team from the inside out, take a look at our course, Working on a Scrum Team. It's designed to get your entire team aligned, on the same page, speaking the same language, and ready to deliver. You'll find all the details on this page. Thank you for watching.